Fury is not a real boxer.
He is 100% a legitimate professional boxer.
There's no photo of the round earth from
That's
space.
not true. That's not true.
Your sense of right and wrong comes from Judeo-Christian tradition.
You gotta. It comes up anytime you want to make a funny point.
Yeah, I would have to have someone sit down and convince me that it was real. I personally don't believe it. That's okay.
Hold on. Stop.
No, hold on a second. This is
you
because you just
interrupt
want-
way too much.
No, no,
you need to stop.
you talk in
Hold on a
paragraphs.
second. No. I don't talk in
Go ahead.
paragraphs. I make full points.
For over 14 years and nearly 2,000 episodes, the Joe Rogan Experience has shown us every side of Joe, from curious interviewer to passionate debater. But sometimes, things get a little heated. Today, we're diving into 5 of the most intense and fiery arguments ever recorded on Joe Rogan's podcast. Let's begin. It all starts with a clash of opinions between Barstool Sports' Dave Portnoy and Joe Rogan over whether Tommy Fury is a real boxer. Dave insists,
Fury is not a real boxer.
but Joe fires back.
He is 100% a legitimate professional boxer.
They go back and forth, even shouting over clips of Fury's fights. Joe shows video evidence. Dave refuses to be convinced.
Well, he puts on gloves.
Joe challenges him.
Look at that uppercut.
Even when shown official stats, Dave stays firm, even going so far as to say he'd bet his entire net worth on Jake Paul beating Fury. Spoiler alert, that didn't age well. The fight took place in Diriyah, Saudi Arabia, and resulted in a split decision victory in favor of Tommy Fury. Fury threw nearly double the amount of Paul's thrown punches, 302 to 157, and landed a higher percentage, 88 to 49, though Paul scored a knockdown.
Tommy,
From boxing gloves to space theories, next up is one of the most mind-bending debates Joe has ever had. His guest? Eddie Bravo, a friend and jiu-jitsu expert, who also believes on the flat earth theory. Yes, you heard that right, the crazy theory that the earth might not be round. Eddie asks,
There's no photo of the round earth from
That's
space.
not true. That's not
the
true.
Joe, clearly frustrated, responds,
There's a Japanese satellite that takes a photo from
Those
22,000
are
miles
the
out
worst
every 10
pictures
minutes.
ever.
Eddie claims it looks like a movie effect. Joe asks,
So constantly making CGI in some sort
Constantly.
of a computer
Constantly.
bank somewhere.
Yes. Show me a real
But
picture.
listen, NASA
Find
does
it.
not have one of those satellites.
Fake.
they argue back and forth, even questioning online sources. Eddie says,
There's a book called The American Journal of Science. I'm sure that a lot of
Which
people
is
respect that.
bought and paid for.
Well, maybe.
It is. It's
But
bought and paid
why?
for it. It's
But
part of that.
Here's the thing, Eddie.
It's like the
why?
Washington Post.
Eddie,
Joe stays patient, but it's clear they're not landing on the same planet. Literally. Things turn philosophical and personal in this next debate with Milo Yiannopoulos. Milo claims,
Everywhere that doesn't have a strong Christian heritage is a fucked up place with bad morals. Your sense of right and wrong comes from Judeo-Christian tradition.
bullshit. You got to stop saying that because it's not true.
I haven't got to stop saying it.
It's cultural.
Obviously
It's
true.
cultural.
So
they clash over culture, religion, and whether being good needs to come from the Bible. Then it gets personal. Milo, an openly gay man, admits,
yes, but I agree that it would be better if I didn't behave like this, and if I could
Do you
choose to be
really? So
heterosexual,
you're a
I would do so.
self-loathing homosexual.
No, and I won't have this.
No,
No, it's not who
it's
you.
prohibited
it's not
in the
who
Bible.
you are, because I don't think my sexuality is an important
Joe pushes back.
It's a
component of my
huge part of you. You talk about it all the time.
Well, I
It's a
talk
massive
about it
part
all
of
the
what
time.
we've talked about on this show.
I think
It comes up anytime you want to make a funny point.
They dive into identity, religion, and hypocrisy. A heavy, emotional segment where Joe tries to make Milo see that self-acceptance doesn't have to come with guilt. Next up, things get seriously loud when Steven Crowder joins the show. And this time, Joe has been drinking. The topic? Marijuana. Crowder argues marijuana causes traffic accidents. Joe challenges that.
If people are high a lot and the same amount of fatalities exist, but the people that get checked once they get into these accidents happen to be high, it does not necessarily mean that marijuana caused those fatalities.
As Crowder presses, Joe gets more fired up.
Hold on, stop.
No, hold on a second. This is
you
because you just
interrupt
want-
way too much.
No, no,
you need to stop.
you talk in
Hold on a
paragraphs.
second. No. I don't talk in
Go ahead.
paragraphs. I make full points.
Crowder counters.
I don't buy that smoking marijuana would be as beneficial as a reduced sugar diet.
Joe yells.
You might be
saying that
correct.
and saying, but if you want to smoke, go ahead.
You might be correct,
Shouldn't be
but it
offensive.
doesn't matter because it's not a contest to see what's the most beneficial.
They argue about studies, websites, science. Even Joe's frustration shows as he says.
I don't care about your website.
Eventually, the tone softens slightly, with Joe admitting.
The problem is, I get very defensive when people start talking over me, and you started it first.
Even so, this was easily one of Joe's most explosive episodes ever. Finally, we reach a calmer yet sharp debate between Candace Owens and Joe Rogan, this time about climate change. Candace doesn't believe in global warming or any climate activism and says this about it.
Do I believe in climate change? No. I would have to have someone sit down and convince me that it was real. I personally don't believe it. That's okay.
Joe, visibly bothered, responds.
No, it's not believe either or. Not believe yes, not believe no.
Yeah.
But don't say you don't believe.
Yeah.
He urges her.
Learn about it.
Yeah.
Learn about it and then have an opinion.
Joe explains that over 10,000 scientists agree on the climate crisis, but Candace stays skeptical. Joe pushes again.
Even if you're right, you don't have enough information to say that.
It's one of the few moments where Joe debates with full control, calm, direct, and driven by facts. From flat earth theories to heated discussions on weed and religion, the Joe Rogan Experience has become a space where big ideas and big egos collide. Whether you agree with Joe or not, these fiery debates show why his podcast remains one of the most talked about shows in the world. Sometimes loud, sometimes funny, always passionate. Joe's debates give us something to think about. Which one was the wildest in your opinion? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you loved this story, hit the like button and subscribe for more amazing content on different celebrities like this. See you next time.